And I realized that you could, through performance, through plays, through films, you can really get to the heart of people and make them understand a little bit more about themselves.
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.
Should I switch my career to maybe movies and documentaries?
Absolutely not.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, it's a terrible business.
Yes.
I mean, we're the lucky ones for sure. It's hard to say that in this position.
The most unstable of all jobs is independent documentary production. Please stay where you are.
That's why he chose it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that, but I want to ask you, how would you describe life after UBN for these characters? Like, do you think they became better people in any way?
Well, better. I don't know if I'd be able to describe it pejoratively. I think they've had a full life at UBA and UBN, and we've had a chance as viewers to bear witness to all of it. That's a great question because it really is a cauldron for all of these people at a very crucial moment in each of their lives. And to see each of the individual characters try to navigate such a cutthroat and fascinating world as news and entertainment and corporate and the merging of corporations, multinational corporations. It's very interesting how it lands on them each personally.
What do you think? Is he a better person now? Is Chip a better?
Well,
I don't think he was ever a bad person, if I'm honest.
I think that Chip is a little happier when we meet him 2 years later in season 4. He's out of the workplace. He's out of the stress. He's producing independent documentaries. So I think that's a little bit more of an enjoyable life. But I think it's about to get really stressful for him because, what seems like a small discrepancy that Bradley Jackson brings to him turns into a massive conspiracy with multiple tentacles that not only lead back to UBN, but to some of his own personal relationships. So he finds himself in a pretty complicated situation fairly quickly.
I just want to ask you, when I watch a film, like a show like this, what I feel is I'm seen, because I'm a journalist, I'm a female journalist in this world, and I love how these shows can start conversations. Right. And I wanted to ask you, having a career like the one you have, do you remember when was that first moment when you realized that what you were telling as an actor mattered outside?
I think... yes, there have been moments. There have been moments, but they're normally people who write to me when they've seen a film or seen a bit of theatre where I've done something which really, for one way or reason or another, touched them. And I realized that you could, through performance, through plays, through films, you can really get to the heart of people and make them understand a little bit more about themselves and understand that they're not alone, that other people feel these things. And so I think those are the moments where you realize that on an individual basis you can make a difference. I'm not sure how much one can make a difference in a wider way, but just individual to individual, actor to one audience member, you can give them something real.
I'm a journalist myself, and I feel like what I see, it's very accurate, unfortunately. And I wanted to ask you, do you find any similarities between what happens, in this show, and especially in the morning show, and then what happens to you as an actress and the environment you do your job into?
Well, of course, there are a lot of similarities, especially I remember when I started being interviewed and I couldn't find myself in the interview when it was like put together. It's like, this is weird how I just want them to, take what I said and not their interpretation of what I said. And sometimes I got so furious because I couldn't find myself in the words they had written, but coming from me.
Nicole, I feel like this character, I love your character because I
Thank
feel like she
you.
has addressed so many things that actually happen in this industry, like being a mother or like even racism.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that happens as well in the entertainment industry? Have you gone through that in any way?
That there I feel like any industry, and yes, there are barriers, there are stigmas, there are biases, but I think what's really amazing about this opportunity is that we get to actually talk about them, and that our showrunner, our directors are bold and brave and like pushing the envelope. I think that that's why there's been so much love from the audience, especially with those particular topics, is because no one else is doing it.
Right.
No one else is actually leaning in and saying, this is what is happening to women, or this is what is happening in these spaces. And also, what are the women doing? You know what I mean? Showing all sides of the thing. So it's fascinating to be a part of that level of complexity.
You have gone season through season with different topics that are very, current topics, just like cancel culture and then now AI and all of that. How far can you go in those terms? Like, because you're mixing fiction with reality, is there like a limit, places where you cannot go at all?
I really think if it isn't illuminating something a character is going through, then we don't go there. But it's not about being censored or any kind of limit like that. It's really like, what is the emotion? What are we trying to say about the human part of this character that's struggling? That sort of takes us. But I think we're in a world that's just so big. And as we say, it's like it's jumped the shark. It's crazy. It's surreal out there. So it's also really important to capture that feeling, I think, but also say, we can get through this. Our characters are resilient. They're going to mess up a lot. They're going to nosedive. They're going to flame out. It's going to be really bad. But you know what? Every time they get back up. So maybe you can do that too. I think every story has to carry a certain amount of hope in it.
Yes.
To be worth telling.
I love how this show has evolved, throughout the time with the topics that are relevant nowadays. Now we're talking about cancellation culture.
Right.
Do you think Janko and Chris would survive cancellation culture if they were real people?
Well, if they were real people?
Yes.
I don't know.
You have, in a way.
I mean, my character
your
certainly
character,
has.
yeah.
If he was a real person, would he have survived the spirit animal cancellation? I think it depends, and that's what's so hard to figure out about cancel culture is like, well, what's permissible? What can you come back from? What is redemptive? Is there one or not? And there's degrees of it, I guess, So with respect to Yanko, yeah, I think he could. Yeah.
Do you feel like there is a comeback? Like, is it possible to come back from cancellation in the world, I guess, for any person who goes through it?
I mean, the morning show has dealt with a lot of hot button topics, and the the cancel culture element was actually present in the first season with Mitch.
Yeah, right.
And one thing I love about the morning show is that they're trying not to have a heavy hand with it. They're trying to be exploratory with these things, because a lot of these issues are so current. They actually delay the writing of the show so that they can maintain storylines that are as current as possible. So these are issues that are still ongoing. And in particular, as they start to tackle the ethics of AI this season, I think their job is not to say, this is ethical, this is not. Their job is to open questions and get that conversation going.
You want to run this place? You have to really, really want it.
It was just my imagination.
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.